Hello everyone, and welcome to another very beautiful and a very famous chess game by Morphy. And this is, before starting the chess game, I just want to say this is a fantastic chess game by Morphy. And in this chess game, Morphy is playing with the black pieces, and Henry Edward Bird has the white pieces. Bird starts the game with playing e4, e5, knight to f3, d6, the Philidor's defense, d4, f5, knight to c3, f takes on e4, knight takes on e4, d5, attacking the knight, knight to g3, e4, attacking the knight and gaining the space in the board, knight to e5, knight to f6, bishop to g5, bishop to d6, and we have knight to h5 by Henry Edward Bird, and Morphy castled, queen to d2, queen to e8, unpinning the knight, g4, defending the knight, but Morphy captures the pawn, knight takes on g4, knight takes knight, queen takes on h5, attacking the knight, knight to e5, knight to c6, bishop to e2, attacking the queen, queen to h3, and then knight takes on c6, pawn takes knight, bishop to e3, rook to b8. And after this move, Henry Edward Bird castled in the queen side. Well, this is the key moment of the game, and can you guess the next move of Morphy? And what would you do in this position if you had the black pieces? Well, actually, this is not a very easy move to find, and Morphy played rook takes on f2, sacrificing the rook. And Henry Edward Bird captured the rook with the bishop, bishop takes on f2, but then queen to a3 by Morphy, threatening checkmate. So Henry Edward Bird is defending c3, defending with the queen. And also Morphy is intending to sacrifice his queen. But Bird, of course, didn't capture the queen. If b takes on a3, then bishop takes on a3, and that's checkmate on the spot. So Bird played c3, and then queen takes on a2, b4, attacking the queen with the queen. So Morphy is rook down, and of course he's not exchanging the queens, and Morphy played queen to a1. That's check. King to c2, queen to a4, king to b2. And once again, can you guess the next move of Morphy? He played a very important move in this position. And after that move, we can say that everything is falling apart for Henry Edward Bird. So Morphy played a killer move. And Morphy sacrificed his bishop. He played bishop takes on b4. And Henry Edward Bird, of course, captured the bishop. But then rook takes on b4. That's check. And desperately, Henry Edward Bird captured the rook with the queen. Queen takes on b4, that's check, and Henry Edward Bird is losing the queen. And let me quickly show you the possible continuation. If king to c1, then queen to a1, king to c2, queen to b2, that's checkmate. If king to c3, then queen to b3, that's checkmate. So queen takes on b4, queen takes queen, king to c2, e3 by Morphy. Morphy also wants to activate his bishop. He is opening the diagonal for the bishop and sacrificing the pawn. So Henry Edward Bird captured the pawn with the bishop. Bishop takes on e3, but then bishop to f5 by Morphy, blocking with the rook, rook to d3. Queen to c4, king to d2, queen to a2, king to d1. Morphy played queen to b1 at move 29. And this is the final move of this magnificent, fantastic chess game by Paul Morphy. So after Paul Morphy simply played Queen to B1, Henry Edward Bird resigned. So this is too much for white. And the possible continuation is very obvious. So if King to D2, Queen takes on H1, and this is losing for white. So the other possible defense is Bishop to C1. But then Bishop takes on D3, Bishop takes Bishop, Queen takes on D3. White is getting crushed. As you can see, there is no hope for white. So this is why after Paul Morphy played Queen to B1, Henry Edward Bird resigned. And what a beautiful chess game by Paul Morphy. And this was one of the most famous and iconic chess games of Paul Morphy ever, in the database, in the archives. And it's not a surprise, isn't it? What a beautiful chess game, with full of attacks, lots of sacrifices. And also this is a very instructive chess game by Paul Morphy. Every chess player, from beginner to intermediate level, needs to analyze this game seriously. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.